What if I told you that every single thought in your mind is quietly shaping the life you are living right now? That the images, ideas, and beliefs you carry are not just whispers in the dark, but powerful architects of your reality. Right now, as you listen, your mind is crafting your future moment by moment, choice by choice. Every fear you've nursed, every doubt you've entertained, every "I can't" you've whispered in your head has built the invisible walls that limit you. And every hope, every dream, every thought of possibility is laying the foundation for something far greater than you might yet imagine. You are standing at the threshold of your own potential. And it begins here, inside your own mind. Imagine your mind as a fertile garden. Every thought you think is a seed, some small, some heavy with possibility. If left unchecked, weeds of fear, regret, and self-doubt take root. They grow quietly at first, barely noticeable, but soon they choke out your potential. And yet, the same mind that allows weeds to flourish also holds the seeds of greatness. The power to plant and nurture what you want to grow is already within you. The very same neurons that fire in moments of anxiety or hesitation can be rewired, reshaped, retrained to bring clarity, courage, and unstoppable momentum. This is not a distant promise. It is the reality of the human brain. Every thought repeated becomes stronger. Every image repeated becomes more vivid. Every belief repeated becomes the lens through which you see the world. Take a moment and ask yourself, what have I been allowing to dominate my mind? Have I been giving energy to what I fear, to what I think I cannot change, to what I think I am not capable of achieving? Or have I been planting seeds of growth, courage, and resilience, even in the smallest moments, day by day? The truth is that your thoughts are not harmless. They are the architects of your future self. And the most extraordinary part is this: you are not trapped by your past or your habits. Awareness is the first spark of transformation. The moment you realize that your mind can be guided, intentionally and purposefully, you reclaim the power to design your own life. By staying with this, by choosing to understand the invisible force that drives your reality, you will gain something invaluable: control over the life you create. You will see that the person you dream of becoming is not out of reach. They are not some distant ideal reserved for luck or circumstance. They are the person that grows from the thoughts you cultivate today. And once you grasp this truth, everything changes. Every decision, every challenge, every setback becomes fuel rather than limitation. You will learn how to plant the seeds that produce strength, confidence, and clarity. You will begin to understand that mastery of your mind is not just an idea. It is a pathway to freedom, courage, and the life you were always meant to live. Your journey starts in this moment, with this understanding, with the choice to think differently, to see differently, and to become consciously aware of the incredible power you already hold. Stay here. Pay attention. What you learn now can transform not just today, but every tomorrow that follows. Every thought you allow to linger in your mind sends a ripple through every part of your life. The quiet, unexamined patterns of thinking are shaping your habits, your relationships, and even your opportunities before you are aware of them. Your mind is not separate from your reality. It is the lens through which every moment of your life is filtered. When you think small, the world around you contracts. When you think fearfully, doors close, often without you even realizing it. But when you allow yourself to think boldly, to imagine expansively, to believe in your worth and your capability, your entire life begins to shift in ways that feel almost miraculous. This is the undeniable law. The mind does not just reflect reality, it constructs it. Consider how every choice you make is guided by thought. Every hesitation is born in doubt. Every action, whether small or great, is the outward expression of an internal dialogue you may not even notice. The thoughts you nurture in silence determine how you respond to challenges, how you see yourself in moments of failure, and how you interpret every opportunity that comes your way. Science tells us that neural pathways strengthen with repetition. This means that every thought, repeated often enough, carves a deeper groove in the brain. Fear becomes instinctive. Confidence becomes instinctive. Limitation becomes instinctive. Freedom becomes instinctive. This is not a metaphor. It is the very architecture of your mind. The life you live tomorrow is being built by the thoughts you entertain today. Ask yourself, Which thoughts are building the life you truly want? Are your beliefs serving you, or are they quietly working against you? Most people move through life unaware of this influence, trapped by invisible patterns that seem unavoidable, but awareness is the key that unlocks every chain. Once you begin to notice your thoughts, to challenge the ones that no longer serve you, and to consciously plant the ones that empower you, your reality begins to bend toward your vision. You hold the pen that writes the story of your life, and the words you choose are your thoughts. Your mind can be the most powerful ally you have, or it can be your most subtle adversary. It is relentless, always shaping, always creating, always echoing the messages it receives. If you fill it with doubt, it will create more doubt. If you fill it with fear, it will craft more fear. But if you feed it courage, clarity, and belief in possibility, it becomes a force capable of transforming every obstacle into opportunity. Imagine a mind that instinctively seeks growth, that automatically scans the world for solutions, that naturally attracts success because the inner world aligns so completely with the outer. This is not fantasy. It is a direct result of guiding your thoughts with intention, discipline, and awareness. The reward for mastering this is immediate and profound. Suddenly, you see possibilities where others see walls. You respond to challenges with resilience rather than panic. You feel the quiet power of control over your destiny, the deep satisfaction of knowing that the life you dream of is no longer a distant idea, but a creation of your own choosing. Every thought becomes a stepping stone. Every moment of clarity strengthens the bridge to your future. You are not at the mercy of circumstance. You are the architect of your reality. And every single thought is a tool in your hands. Your mind is more than a collection of fleeting thoughts. It is a complex, living system that has been silently directing your life since the moment you were born. Every habit, every automatic reaction, every pattern of behavior is a reflection of the mental pathways you have allowed to strengthen over time. Many of these patterns operate below conscious awareness, guiding your decisions without asking for permission. This is why so much of life can feel repetitive, even inevitable. The same fears, the same frustrations, the same feelings of limitation keep appearing because the mind has been trained to repeat them. Yet here lies the profound truth. The same mind that has created these invisible chains also holds the key to breaking them. Awareness of these patterns is the first step toward liberation. The moment you begin to notice the thoughts that run in the background of your mind, you gain the power to intervene, to disrupt what no longer serves you, and to replace it with what will. Every thought you allow to take hold is like a signal to your brain, telling it what to prioritize, what to strengthen, and what to ignore. When fear dominates your mind, you are programming your body and your life to respond with caution, hesitation, and doubt. When self-doubt is repeated, your brain begins to filter experiences through the lens of limitation, making it harder to see opportunities and easier to accept failure. But the inverse is also true. When courage, belief, and possibility dominate your inner world, your brain begins to scan for pathways to growth, for solutions instead of problems, and for doors that were invisible before. This is not a suggestion or wishful thinking. It is a measurable, scientific truth. Your thoughts literally shape the wiring of your brain, the architecture of your habits, and the trajectory of your life. Take a moment and examine the conversations you have with yourself. Are they building you up or tearing you down? Are they expanding your vision or shrinking your reality? Every negative thought you accept and repeat strengthens its power. Every empowering thought you choose to nurture and revisit strengthens yours. You are not powerless against the patterns that have governed you. Your awareness itself is a tool, a spark of consciousness that allows you to redirect the current of your mind. Each time you notice a limiting thought, each time you consciously replace it with a thought that serves your highest self, you are literally reshaping your mental landscape. Your brain begins to recognize that a new path is possible, and slowly, step by step, it strengthens the neurological connections that align with possibility, courage, and growth. The beauty of this process is that change does not have to be massive to be transformative. Even a single thought, repeated and focused with intention, can spark the creation of a new pattern that eventually overtakes the old. Each moment of awareness, each deliberate mental shift compounds into a life that reflects your highest potential. You are learning the most important skill you will ever possess, the ability to choose what thoughts you nourish and which ones you starve. This is not abstract or theoretical. It is the very mechanism through which every extraordinary life is built. The person you are becoming is not determined by chance, circumstance, or luck. It is determined by the thoughts you allow to dominate your mind, and the clarity, courage, and purpose with which you guide them. Every choice you make, every reaction you have, every step you take is the outward reflection of what is happening inside your mind. The world does not simply happen to you. It responds to the energy, the beliefs, and the thoughts you carry within. When you fill your mind with fear, doubt, and limitation, you do not just feel small, you act small. Opportunities pass unnoticed. Courage falters. Potential remains locked away, but when you consciously cultivate thoughts of strength, possibility, and resilience, the world begins to respond in kind. You begin to notice doors opening where once there were walls. You start to see solutions instead of problems. You begin to act from a place of clarity and confidence rather than hesitation and uncertainty. Your reality is not outside of you. It is being shaped constantly and powerfully by the life you carry in your mind. Think of your mind as a lens through which everything in life is filtered. If the lens is foggy, distorted, or clouded by fear, the world will appear confusing, overwhelming, and hostile. If the lens is clear, focused, and aligned with possibility, the world appears vibrant, full of opportunities, and abundant with potential. The thoughts you nurture are what sharpen that lens, what allow you to see your life with precision, and what empower you to make decisions from a place of truth rather than reaction. This clarity is not a gift, it is a skill. It is a skill that you develop by choosing your thoughts deliberately, by rejecting those that shrink you, and by embracing those that expand your vision and strengthen your resolve. Ask yourself, which thoughts dominate your inner world? Which ones have you allowed to guide your actions silently and persistently without realizing their impact? Many people live trapped in loops of self-doubt, fear, and limitation, unaware that each thought is reinforcing the very patterns they wish to escape. But this awareness itself is your liberation. The moment you recognize that your thoughts are creating your reality, you reclaim control. You begin to see that the life you desire is not a distant dream, but a direct outcome of the mental seeds you choose to plant and nourish today. Every moment becomes an opportunity to rewrite the script of your mind, to replace fear with courage, limitation with possibility, and hesitation with decisive action. The power of thought is both simple and profound. It is simple because anyone can begin right now. No external circumstance is required, no approval, no luck, no special skill, just the conscious choice to notice, to question, and to direct your thoughts. It is profound because this choice is the key to every transformation you will ever experience. Your mind is the factory, the forge, and the blueprint of your life. Every day you spend unconsciously feeding fear, doubt, and limitation is a day spent building a reality that reflects them. Every day you spend consciously choosing empowering thoughts is a day spent creating a life that reflects courage, clarity, and unstoppable potential. Your mind is not a passive tool. It is the most powerful force in your life. The moment you take responsibility for the thoughts you allow to flourish, you begin to step into the version of yourself that has always been waiting beneath doubt, fear, and hesitation. This is the truth. Your destiny is not written by circumstance. It is written by thought. And the thoughts you choose today determine the reality you will live tomorrow. Every thought you entertain carries weight. It shapes not only your perception, but the very energy with which you move through the world. The fears you dwell on, the doubts you repeat, the "I can't sass" whispered in quiet moments, they do not vanish. They embed themselves, subtly steering your choices, constraining your actions, and limiting your vision. But the same is true in reverse. Every thought of courage, every flicker of belief, every moment you choose to imagine your strength instead of your weakness, these too embed themselves, silently building the foundation for a reality aligned with your highest potential. Your mind is constantly listening. It is constantly learning. It mirrors your inner dialogue and manifests it in your outer life. Understanding this is the first step toward reclaiming the life you are capable of living. Think of the mind as both compass and map. When you allow fear and limitation to dominate, your path appears treacherous, filled with obstacles that grow larger than they truly are. The world looks hostile because the lens through which you are seeing it is distorted. But when you consciously guide your thoughts toward possibility, clarity, and strength, the landscape of your life begins to change. Challenges are no longer insurmountable. They are opportunities to refine your resilience. Problems transform into puzzles, temporary and solvable. Doors that once seemed closed now appear open. The mind does not just perceive, it constructs. Every image, every idea, every belief repeatedly entertained is a blueprint, building the architecture of the life you are creating, whether you realize it or not. Ask yourself, which thoughts have been quietly running your life without your consent? Which patterns have you been repeating simply because they are familiar, not because they serve your growth? Most people live under the influence of these invisible scripts, unaware that they are not passive observers in their own lives, but active participants shaping their destiny with every thought. Awareness alone is revolutionary. The moment you notice a thought that limits you, you gain the power to intervene. The moment you recognize that your mental energy can be directed, you gain the ability to choose, to redirect, and to reconstruct. Each conscious choice strengthens new pathways, rewiring your brain to focus on strength, on courage, on solutions, and on possibility. Transformation does not require monumental shifts. It begins with one thought, repeated and cultivated until it becomes instinctive. One moment of clarity, one intentional choice, one refusal to accept limitation, these compound. The brain is plastic, adaptable, and responsive. It strengthens the pathways you feed and weakens the ones you starve. Every thought is a signal, a blueprint, a step toward the version of yourself that has always been possible, but perhaps never realized. This is the power of intentional thought. It is the quiet, invisible architect of your life. Your mind can be your greatest ally or your most silent adversary. It is relentless, constantly creating, constantly shaping, constantly reflecting the inner world you cultivate. The questions you ask yourself, the beliefs you hold, the visions you entertain, they all matter more than you know. Take ownership of your thoughts. Guard them. Feed the ones that serve your growth. Starve the ones that diminish your potential. Every moment of awareness, every deliberate choice, every thought directed toward possibility is a brick in the life you were born to create. You are not subject to circumstance. You are not bound by limitation. You are the product of your thoughts, and your power begins with choosing them wisely. The thoughts you feed most often become the essence of who you are. They shape your identity, your confidence, your courage, and even the way the world perceives you. Every mental image you hold, every internal narrative you repeat, carves deeper into your subconscious, instructing your behavior, guiding your decisions, and ultimately dictating your outcomes. When you allow doubt and fear to dominate, your life moves in quiet, unnoticed ways toward limitation. When you intentionally cultivate thoughts of strength, possibility, and resilience, your life begins to bend toward growth and opportunity. The mind is not a passive observer. It is an active creator, and every thought you choose to nurture is a brick in the foundation of your destiny. Consider the immense power of repeated focus. Neuroscience has proven that the brain strengthens connections that are used often and weakens those that are ignored. This means every thought repeated over time becomes automatic, a neural highway your mind travels without conscious effort. Fear, hesitation, and self-doubt become effortless if left unchecked, while courage, clarity, and confidence also become effortless if trained deliberately. The key is conscious direction. By choosing to focus on empowering thoughts consistently, you are literally training your brain to operate from strength rather than limitation. You are not waiting for external circumstances to change. You are changing the internal environment that controls every response, every choice, every moment of your life. Ask yourself, what kind of person do your thoughts want you to become? Are they leading you toward growth, toward the life you desire, or are they silently binding you to the familiar, the comfortable, the safe? Most of the time, people are unaware of the invisible influence their thoughts exert. They live in autopilot, repeating patterns that reinforce limitation. But awareness is liberation. When you see the chain, you can break it. When you recognize that each thought has power, you can begin to choose differently, to think differently, to act differently. One thought at a time, one moment of focus at a time, your mind becomes a tool of creation, capable of building a life aligned with your highest vision. Every thought you choose to reinforce changes more than your mental state. It changes the trajectory of your life. The world responds to the energy you radiate, the focus you carry, and the vision you hold. Limiting thoughts shrink your perception, close doors, and breed hesitation. Empowering thoughts expand your perception, reveal opportunities, and ignite decisive action. This is why mastery of the mind is the most important mastery you can achieve. It is the source of your courage, your discipline, your resilience, and your ability to create a life that reflects not circumstance, but vision, not fear, but possibility. The process is simple but profound. Start by noticing. Begin to observe the internal dialogue, the habitual patterns, the repeated stories you tell yourself. Challenge the ones that no longer serve you. Amplify the ones that empower you. Each deliberate choice to guide your thoughts toward possibility is a choice to guide your life toward success, freedom, and fulfillment. The life you want is not distant. It is being built in the quiet chambers of your mind right now. Your thoughts are the architects. Your attention is the blueprint. And the moment you step into this awareness, you claim the power to shape the person you will become and the life you will live. Your mind is not just a place where thoughts happen. It is the soil from which your life grows. Every belief you hold, every mental picture you allow to flourish, becomes the root of your actions, the seed of your habits, and the source of your character. The thoughts you entertain daily are shaping your identity. Whether you realize it or not, they influence the way you respond to challenges, the way you approach opportunities, and the way the world perceives you. If your mind is filled with doubt, fear, and limitation, your actions will mirror that. If your mind is filled with courage, clarity, and belief in your potential, your actions will align with strength and purpose. The inner world always precedes the outer world. What you think is what you become. Every thought you choose to entertain sends a signal to your subconscious mind. That signal grows stronger each time it is repeated, creating neural pathways that dictate how you instinctively react, what you notice, and the choices you make under pressure. Fear and hesitation are strengthened when they are indulged. Confidence and courage are strengthened when they are practiced and focused upon. Your subconscious does not differentiate between imagination and reality. It responds to the intensity and repetition of your thoughts as if they are truths. This means that the power to transform your life lies in your hands, or more accurately, in your mind. By consciously directing your thoughts toward possibility, growth, and strength, you are literally shaping the framework through which you experience every moment of your life. Ask yourself, what have your thoughts been building in your life so far? Are they creating freedom, courage, and growth, or are they silently constructing limitation, doubt, and fear? Awareness of this invisible influence is your gateway to transformation. The moment you realize that your mental focus is not passive but actively shaping your reality, you gain the power to redirect it. You can choose thoughts that empower, thoughts that inspire, thoughts that align with the person you want to become and the life you want to live. This is not wishful thinking. It is deliberate, practical, and measurable. Each moment of conscious focus, each refusal to indulge negative patterns, is a step toward rewiring your mind for success. Your mind is your most powerful instrument, but it requires intentional care. You cannot allow random, uncontrolled thoughts to determine the trajectory of your life and then expect extraordinary results. Every belief, every repeated image, every internal conversation must be examined. Weed out what no longer serves you. Cultivate what empowers you. Feed thoughts that inspire courage, resilience, and clarity. Starve thoughts that reinforce fear, doubt, and limitation. The process is simple but profound. What you nurture in your mind becomes the life you live. Understand this deeply. Your external circumstances are not the ultimate measure of your potential. They respond to the internal climate you cultivate. The discipline to guide your mind, the courage to focus on empowering thoughts, and the consistency to reinforce them is what separates those who merely dream from those who achieve. You are not a victim of circumstance, you are the product of your thoughts. And every thought you choose today is the architect of the person you are becoming and the life you will experience tomorrow. Your mind is the most powerful tool you will ever possess, and mastery over it is the doorway to transformation. Every thought you allow to occupy your mind carries a charge. It shapes your mood, guides your decisions, and ultimately molds the life you live. The ideas you dwell on, the fears you revisit, the doubts you silently whisper, all of these act like unseen forces steering your destiny. They are not harmless. They are not fleeting. They are powerful architects of your reality. And yet, the opposite is equally true. Every thought of possibility, every spark of courage, every choice to focus on strength rather than limitation plants seeds that will grow into the life you desire. Your mind is not neutral. It is always creating. And the quality of your thoughts determines the quality of your life. Consider this. Your thoughts are the lens through which you perceive the world. If your mind is clouded with fear, you will see obstacles at every turn, limitations in every opportunity, and risk in every possibility. If your mind is clear, focused, and empowered, you will see potential where others see none, solutions where others see problems, and opportunity where others see dead ends. The external world is a mirror of your internal state. Your mind is not merely reacting to circumstances, it is actively constructing them. This is why self-mastery begins with mental mastery. It begins with the courage to notice your thoughts, the discipline to evaluate them, and the commitment to redirect them toward the life you want to build. Ask yourself, are the thoughts you entertain building your freedom, your courage, your resilience, and your confidence? Or are they quietly reinforcing limitation, fear, and hesitation? Most people drift through life under the influence of automatic mental patterns, unaware that their inner world is silently dictating their outer reality. Awareness alone is transformative. When you recognize the invisible chains, you can begin to break them. When you see that each thought carries weight, you gain the ability to choose differently, to think differently, and to act differently. Change begins with the conscious choice to focus on empowering, constructive, and life-affirming thoughts. Your mind is a fertile ground. What you feed grows. Fear and doubt flourish if allowed, consuming energy and shrinking possibility. Confidence, courage, and vision thrive when nurtured, expanding your perception and strengthening your resolve. Every repetition of a thought is a reinforcement, a building block of identity. The way you see yourself today is the product of countless moments in which you either accepted limitation or chose possibility. Understanding this gives you control. You are not at the mercy of circumstance. You are the sculptor of your life, and your thoughts are the tools. Mastery of thought is not abstract or distant. It is practical and immediate. Each moment you have the choice to guide your mental energy toward what empowers you. Each refusal to entertain fear and doubt is a step toward freedom. Each deliberate focus on possibility and strength strengthens the neural pathways that make courage and clarity automatic. This is the quiet power of the mind. It does not merely reflect reality, it creates it. By taking ownership of your thoughts, by deliberately cultivating those that serve your highest potential, you are actively designing the person you are becoming and the life you are capable of living. Your thoughts are the blueprint, your focus is the construction, and the life you want begins with the mind you choose to build. The mind is not a passive observer of life, it is the engine that drives it. Every choice you make, every action you take, every moment you spend hesitating or advancing originates in thought. Your thoughts are the invisible forces that shape your decisions, influence your emotions, and ultimately determine the trajectory of your life. They are not fleeting, they are powerful. Each one sets a ripple in motion that expands outward, touching every aspect of your reality. And the most extraordinary truth is that this process works for you just as easily as it works against you. If you allow fear, doubt, or limitation to dominate, your life will follow that path. If you choose clarity, courage, and possibility, Your life will bend toward growth and fulfillment. Every thought you dwell upon strengthens neural pathways in your brain, making certain responses automatic and natural. This is how habits are formed, how identity is reinforced, and how your character is shaped. Fear becomes second nature if indulged, while confidence becomes second nature if practiced. The brain does not judge, it merely reinforces what it is repeatedly exposed to. This is why mastery of thought is not optional, it is essential. The life you desire is already being designed within your mind. Each moment of focused intention, each deliberate choice to cultivate empowering thoughts, is a brick in the foundation of your future. You are either building a prison or constructing a palace, and the material is your own thinking. Ask yourself, what are your thoughts building right now? Are they constructing courage, resilience, and possibility, or are they quietly reinforcing doubt, fear, and limitation? Awareness is the first step toward transformation. Most people drift through life unaware of the quiet power their minds wield over their outcomes. Once you see it, you can take control. You can redirect mental energy toward what serves you, instead of what restricts you. You can consciously decide to nurture thoughts that expand your capacity, strengthen your resolve, and align you with your highest potential. Your mind is fertile, and what you feed it grows. Fear and hesitation, if entertained, will consume your energy and shrink your world. Confidence, determination, and vision, when nourished, will expand your perception, open doors, and reveal opportunities that once seemed invisible. Every repeated thought reinforces your identity, and every shift in focus can redefine who you are becoming. You are not bound by the circumstances of your life. You are the creator of your inner reality, and your inner reality shapes everything you experience. Transformation begins with conscious thought. Each time you choose to focus on strength rather than limitation, you are reshaping your brain, rewiring your responses, and building habits that serve your growth. Courage becomes automatic, clarity becomes natural, and resilience becomes inevitable. The mind does not merely reflect life, it creates it. By taking command of your thoughts, you take command of your life. The person you are becoming, the life you are building, begins here. In your mind, it is yours to shape, yours to guide, and yours to empower. The blueprint exists within you, waiting for your attention, your intention, and your deliberate action. Your mind is a powerful magnet, attracting what you focus on with relentless precision. Every thought you entertain sends signals to your subconscious, instructing it to notice, respond to, and create experiences that align with that thought. When your focus is on fear, scarcity, or doubt, your life contracts, opportunities shrink, and challenges feel insurmountable. When your focus is on possibility, abundance, and strength, doors appear where walls once stood, solutions emerge from nowhere, and courage becomes your default. The quality of your life is not determined by luck, circumstance, or external events. It is determined by the clarity, intensity, and direction of your thoughts. Think about the subtle ways your mind shapes your reality. Every day, invisible decisions are being made in your subconscious based on what you repeatedly think. Your habits, your reactions, your emotions, and your level of resilience are all reflections of these patterns. This is why self-mastery begins with thought mastery. You cannot control everything outside of you, but you can control what occupies the space inside your mind. You can choose to feed thoughts that empower you, that expand your possibilities, and that create the courage to face life with unwavering strength. By doing so, you are not just imagining a better life, you are actively constructing it. Ask yourself, what have you been allowing to dominate your mind? Are your thoughts nurturing fear, hesitation, and limitation, or are they cultivating strength, clarity, and opportunity? The truth is, most people drift, unconscious of the power their mind wields over their reality. Every doubt indulged, every worry entertained, every negative thought repeated reinforces a life of limitation. And every empowered thought, every choice to focus on possibility, every mental image of success strengthens a life of freedom, achievement, and fulfillment. Your inner dialogue is the blueprint, and your attention is the architect. Your mind is fertile ground, and it will grow what you feed it. If you feed fear, it will expand. If you feed courage, it will flourish. Every time you allow thoughts of strength, persistence, and possibility to take root, you are rewiring your brain, reinforcing your identity, and creating the automatic responses that will carry you forward under pressure. Your future self is being created right now, in every thought you permit, in every belief you hold, and in every moment of conscious focus. You are sculpting your life moment by moment, thought by thought. The discipline to direct your mind is the greatest gift you can give yourself. Each moment you choose to focus on what empowers you, each refusal to indulge fear and doubt is a step toward the person you are capable of becoming. Courage, resilience, and clarity are not distant ideals. They are cultivated habits grown from repeated, deliberate, and focused thought. The mind does not just reflect your life, it creates it. By mastering what you think, you are mastering what you become. Every day, every thought, and every choice is a chance to align your mind with the life you were meant to live. The power is within you, waiting for your focus, your courage, and your unwavering intention to bring it into reality. Every thought you hold carries weight. It is not harmless. It is not fleeting. It is the seed of action, the spark of creation, the blueprint of who you will become. When you think small, timid, or doubtful thoughts, you are quietly designing a life that mirrors those fears. When you think bold, expansive, and courageous thoughts, you are quietly creating a life that matches your highest potential. The mind is relentless in its work. It does not judge or rest. It is always shaping, always building, always responding to the signals you provide. And this is why the mastery of thought is not optional. It is essential. Consider how much energy you spend every day consumed by worries, by what-ifs, by doubts about yourself and your future. That energy is powerful, but it is misdirected. When focused on fear, it becomes the force that contracts your life, shrinks your possibilities, and reinforces the limitations you wish you could escape. Every moment spent dwelling on negativity is a brick added to the walls of your own confinement. But the same energy, redirected, becomes a force that propels you forward. Focus it on growth, on courage, on clarity, and watch as the world bends to meet the intensity of your thought. You have the capacity to choose, and with choice comes power. Your subconscious is listening. It takes your repeated thoughts as commands. Every day you entertain visions of what you can become. Every moment you reinforce belief in your strength. Every time you practice seeing possibilities instead of obstacles, you are wiring your mind for success. The neural pathways that are activated by thought become automatic responses over time. Courage becomes second nature. Resilience becomes instinctive. Confidence becomes your default. You are not waiting for life to change. You are building the life you desire from the inside out. Ask yourself, are your thoughts aligning with the person you wish to be? Are they serving your growth, or are they quietly sabotaging it? The truth is, most people underestimate the power of their own minds. They underestimate how deeply thoughts shape emotions, choices, and habits. They underestimate that a shift in thinking can shift everything. Your perception, your performance, your destiny. Every thought is a decision, and every decision matters. To think intentionally is to take the reins of your life. To think unconsciously is to be carried along by the currents of circumstance. The mind, when trained, is unstoppable. It does not just dream, it acts. It does not just imagine, it creates. Each focused, deliberate, and empowered thought sets into motion patterns that become habits, habits that become character, and character that becomes destiny. You are not powerless. You are not a passive observer. You are a creator, a designer, and a force capable of shaping a life that matches the grandeur of your inner vision. The mind you choose to cultivate today will determine the life you experience tomorrow. Feed it courage, feed it clarity, feed it relentless belief, and watch yourself become unstoppable. Every thought you allow to dominate your mind is like water shaping clay. It molds your beliefs, your actions, and ultimately the person you're becoming. This shaping is silent, invisible, and relentless. You may not notice the impact in a single moment, but over time, it compounds. Thoughts repeated day after day become habits. Habits form character. Character defines destiny. The question is not whether your thoughts matter. They matter more than anything else in your life. They are the architects of everything you will ever achieve or fail to achieve. Imagine the immense power you carry simply in your ability to think, to imagine, to decide, to focus. Every single thought you nurture sends signals to your brain, your emotions, and your behavior. It primes you to notice opportunities, to respond to challenges, to act with confidence or hesitation. The mind does not distinguish between what is imagined and what is real. It reacts to the intensity, clarity, and emotion behind the thought. When you visualize strength, courage, and possibility, your body begins to respond as if those qualities are already present. You create alignment between mind, emotion, and action, and that alignment is unstoppable. Consider how much of your life has been dictated by unchallenged thoughts, thoughts of fear, thoughts of limitation, thoughts that whisper, "I cannot," or "it's not possible." Each one has been quietly building your reality, shaping it into a reflection of doubt. Yet, the same is true for thoughts of possibility, of courage, of relentless belief. Each empowered thought builds a different reality, a reality in which you take bold steps, pursue challenges, and embrace the life that once seemed beyond reach. The difference lies entirely in which thoughts you cultivate, which ones you feed, and which ones you refuse to indulge. You have the ability to rewire yourself. Science shows that the brain is plastic, adaptable, and responsive to repeated focus. Every time you consciously choose empowering thoughts, you're strengthening neural pathways that make resilience, courage, and confidence automatic. You are teaching your body to trust your mind to trust your vision, and your soul to trust your own potential. This is how transformation occurs. Not through luck, not through external forces, but through deliberate, consistent, and focused thought. Every moment you spend thinking intentionally, you are building a life that mirrors the greatness already within you. Now recognize the stakes. To let your mind drift aimlessly is to leave your life to chance, to allow fear, doubt, and limitation to determine your path. But to take command of your mind is to take command of your life. Every thought you focus on with intensity becomes a tool of creation, a spark that ignites action, a magnet drawing you toward the life you imagine. You are not a victim of circumstance. You are the creator of it. The thoughts you choose today, the beliefs you reinforce, and the visions you cultivate will determine not just your actions, but your identity, your confidence, and the reality you inhabit. Harness your mind, direct it, feed it with purpose, and watch yourself rise into the life you were meant to claim. Every thought you entertain is a declaration of who you are becoming. It is not idle, it is not meaningless. It is a force that shapes your habits, your decisions, your very identity. Each thought whispers to your subconscious, telling it what to believe, what to pursue, and what to accept. When your mind is filled with doubt, hesitation, or fear, you unknowingly reinforce limits. When your mind is filled with courage, clarity, and possibility, you cultivate power that cannot be stopped. The way you think today is the blueprint of the person you'll become tomorrow, and the sooner you accept this, the sooner your life begins to transform. The energy you devote to your thoughts is not wasted. It is the most potent resource you possess. Every fear you feed grows stronger. Every empowering vision you cultivate becomes more real. The mind responds not to logic alone, but to the intensity and frequency of what you focus on. This is why small, consistent choices in thought create massive changes over time. It is why repeated, intentional thinking rewires your brain, strengthens your resolve, and aligns your actions with your deepest desires. Your mind is a tool, and like any tool, its value depends entirely on how you use it. Recognize the subtle ways your thoughts influence your behavior. A single idea can determine whether you act boldly or retreat silently. A single conviction can change your response to failure, turning it from a setback into a stepping stone. Your mind does not differentiate between imagined success and real success. It reacts to the belief behind the vision. When you see yourself as capable, when you envision possibilities instead of obstacles, your body begins to operate in alignment with that vision. Your posture, your energy, your persistence, all begin to reflect the reality of your thought. The mind shapes not just the mind, but the body, the behavior, and the life you experience. The people who achieve extraordinary things are not extraordinary because of luck or circumstance. They are extraordinary because they mastered their minds. They controlled their thoughts. They cultivated belief when doubt screamed. They focused on possibility when fear threatened to dominate. And over time, that discipline of thought manifested as resilience, confidence, and unstoppable momentum. This is proof that your inner world precedes your outer world, that the quality of your thinking directly determines the quality of your life. You are capable of the same mastery if you choose to harness it. Every moment you waste surrendering to negative, limiting, or aimless thoughts is a moment you give away your power. Every intentional thought, every conscious focus on courage, growth, and possibility is a moment you reclaim it. The difference between a life that feels small and a life that feels limitless is not circumstance, it is thought. It is the habit of believing in your potential, of envisioning what you can achieve, and of relentlessly directing your mind toward creation rather than limitation. Your mind is your most powerful asset. Guard it, guide it, train it, feed it with purpose, and watch the life you imagine unfold into reality, because the person you are becoming begins with the thoughts you dare to hold today. The mind is a garden, and your thoughts are the seeds. Every belief, every idea, every vision you allow to take root grows into the reality you experience. If you plant fear, doubt, and hesitation, you will harvest limitation. If you plant courage, clarity, and unwavering belief, you will harvest strength, resilience, and achievement beyond what you imagine possible. This is not metaphor, it is science. Neural pathways strengthen with repetition. Emotions respond to focused thought, and behavior aligns with what you consistently imagine. The world around you is a mirror, reflecting the landscape of your mind. Change your thoughts, and the world will change with you. Imagine the weight of this truth. You are constantly shaping yourself silently in every waking moment. Each thought you cling to builds your identity, forms your habits, and guides your actions. Nothing happens by accident. The good, the bad, and the mediocre all originate from the patterns you feed your mind. And the power lies in your awareness. To understand that you are the architect of your own life is to hold the key to transformation. You no longer need to wait for luck, timing, or opportunity. You can begin to build right now from the inside out. Your mind will always reflect what you focus on. Negativity will grow if you give it attention. Confidence will grow if you nurture it. Dreams will either fade or flourish depending on how persistently you feed them with belief. Your inner dialogue is a living, breathing force. Every thought shapes your energy, your actions, and your destiny. If you allow it to drift without direction, it will still create a life, but it will be one dictated by chance, circumstance, and the invisible influence of others. If you direct it with intent, it will become the engine of your greatness. Think about what it means to consciously choose your thoughts. To take responsibility for your mental landscape is to reclaim power you may have unknowingly surrendered. It is to recognize that the feeling of limitation is not a reflection of reality, but a reflection of your focus. Every thought of fear can be countered with thought of courage. Every thought of doubt can be countered with evidence of your capability. Every thought of scarcity can be replaced with vision of abundance. This is the true work of transformation, silent, relentless, and invisible, yet unstoppable in its effects. The life you desire is not somewhere out there waiting for you. It is not a stroke of luck or a random occurrence. It is the inevitable result of the thoughts you cultivate, the beliefs you reinforce, and the mental habits you form. To think intentionally, to focus relentlessly on possibility, and to refuse to accept limitation is to step into the role of creator. Your mind is the forge, your thoughts are the fire, and your actions are the hammer shaping the life you were born to live. Claim this power, own it, and watch yourself become exactly what you choose to think.